walking back to my truck. Beautiful sunrise this morning. And I just wanted to say something. Just a thought I had. You know, there's all these people that come out here and crab and fish, and especially the crabbing and shrimping. And they take it and they sell it to these little markets. Have you ever stopped and thought that when you go down to some of these little markets and you're buying fresh crabs, you need to ask where they're coming from, because some of these guys come down here in some of these places and their families, their kids are all down here all day, every day, crabbing. And that's how they're making their living. I know, because I've talked to them. You need to be careful, because you may be getting some of these poisoned, high metal shellfish without realizing it. So please ask where your crabs and stuff came from, where your supplier buys them from, especially if you're buying live ones, because if they're coming from the San Jacinto River or some other areas like the Ship Channel, because honey, they're down there around the monument, down there on that ferry every day. They're down here by my house in the Bottoms and down here around the San Jacinto River every day with nets and cages, and they're on the boats doing it too. That stuff is so dangerous. I ain't eating it. And if you are, you better be getting yourself checked for cancer and metal poisoning. It's very dangerous. That's why there's signs up, and there's supposed to be signs up everywhere, and a lot of them aren't, or they're gone. That's why I hope some of y'all will show up for this meeting Wednesday, and listen to what listen to what these experts have to say. Listen to what the San Jacinto River Coalition has to say. Listen to what the Texas Department of Health has to say. You know, listen to what Scott Jones of the Galveston Bay Foundation has to say. Come and, you know, and listen and hear some of what the Galveston Bay report card was for last year. And hear, you know, more of what is known and not known. There's so many children that are having problems, and the cancers that are showing up from some of this. It's unreal. You know, the problem with the dioxins in the river, and they're going into the animals and showing up. The risk of cancers and other, you know, problems. The poor water quality that is around here is so bad, and Channelview and Highlands is just, you know, the high risk of cancers, and the increase in diabetes and immune systems and issues, and pregnancy issues, and liver issues, and birth weight issues, and has been so high over here and unnormal. And people along the river, San Jacinto River, have been exposed to this. And if you're eating shellfish and fish from this river, you're getting the same exposure. So you know, my suggestion is come to the meeting Wednesday. It's at the Sand Jack Highlands Community Center. I've posted the information on it. Come and see what they have to say. I can't express enough that I hope more of you show up and come and get involved in what's going on, because, you know, it's a super fun site in the river, and I'm going to try to get some pictures of it too. And right now is the time for everyone to get involved, because they're trying to decide what's going to happen, whether it's going to remain capped like it is and run the chances of barges hitting it and having leaks and more problems, or whether, you know, they're going to do a complete cleanup of it like they've done with other Superfund sites like this that have been in rivers. The EPA is here. It's testing. It was at the last meeting last week that was open for the public and the community. The EPA will be at the meeting Wednesday, as will various other organizations and groups. I urge anyone that is interested on any level about not only what goes on with the San Jacinto River, but what goes on with the animals, the plants, all the wildlife, what goes on with our food sources, what goes on with the air we breathe, what goes on with everything. The guys that work on the San Jacinto River, the guys that work the tugboats, work in the plants, need to be represented, because if you're getting wet, getting in the dirt, you're getting exposed to dioxins. If you have a well, a water well, you could be getting exposed to the dioxins. You need your well tested. You need to be there. You need to gain knowledge and not regret it later. So my suggestion is be there Wednesday, or send someone there to represent you. Let your voice be heard, because there's some really strange rules as to how they accept the community's input and the way they accept it and how it applies to their decision on whether they clean the site up or they cap it, or anyway, the community's input weighs heavy into their decision, but the rules on how the community's input is allowed to apply is kind of odd, and we have to meet those requirements for it to count. So please show up, come listen, and make your own wise decisions. I will post more information. Please look at my previous post on the San Jacinto waste pits. Thank you.